So how are these scammers overseas linked to organized crime in the U.S. and who's laundering whose money?
Yeah, it's really crazy because it starts with like a phone call, right? Do you want me to go kind of through how the scam works itself?
Yeah.
So like traditionally the original scam was like a pop-up scam. So you're on your computer and you're surfing the web and all of a sudden you get this error code on your screen. And it says it's Microsoft. There's a virus on your computer. You need to call support. Now the origin of this comes from their call centers overseas in like India, for instance. And they were legitimate call centers, like help desk call centers where they help fix, computer problems and things like that. So I had an insider guy that I've talked with before, and he said, like, here's the thing. You have Nike shoes, for instance, and you scuff them up and you want to go get them fixed. You could go to Nike and it's going to be really expensive. Or you could go to my shop on the corner and it'll be, 90% less than what it would be at Nike, if that makes sense.
Right.
So they started just being cheaper tech support. But then from there, they were like, well, what if we could force people to start coming to our support based off of a fake premise? So that's where these pop-ups started. So they would create pop-ups to go on people's computers. So there's some, like a grandma is surfing the web. She's on Facebook. These scammers have figured out ways to pretty much buy ad space and, serve these pop-ups. There's malware on websites and stuff like that, but it'll serve these pop-ups. And then grandma gets a pop-up. She calls these scammers up. They tell her she has a virus on her computer. The problem is there's no virus. It's a trick. So they've told them it used to start with like, hey, you have a virus. We'll clean your computer for like $500.
Sure.
So that was like the original game. That's what they used to do. And then it evolved over the years. And this is like probably a multi-decade problem now, that this was just in the shadows. Nobody really ever talked about it. Then it evolved to, hey, we're the computer company. We're calling you up because we're actually going to refund you your money. We're going out of business. It sounds really crazy, but this is one of their best scams that they do. So they call up the grandma and they say, hey, we are Norton, for instance, or Amazon or PayPal. We're going out of business. We're going to refund you a charge on your account. So let's say it's like $300. So what they do is they connect onto grandma's computer and they're giving her a refund of her money back into her account. Right. So track with me here.
Right.
So $300 is supposed to go back in grandma's account. What they do is because they have access to the granny's computer, they can manipulate her screen. So she logs into her bank account. They have software on her computer.
They're like TeamViewer or something?
Yeah, TeamViewer, a bunch of all these different remote tools. So they load like TeamViewer on there and they hide the screen so she can't see anything. And that $300 now becomes $30,000, however much she has in her account. They can manipulate the bank to look a certain way.
So they get her to log into her bank account?
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
And this is just for the refund purposes. They'll lie and say, hey, we don't see anything, but they see everything. So the trusting grandma that's like 83 years old, she's like, okay, you can have access to my $400,000 account, right? So they see that. And then they're like, okay, ma'am, no, we actually, instead of 300, we gave you 30,000 or 300,000. You need to actually give us that money back as soon as possible. And what they're doing is they're just like tricking the system and they're transferring money between like a savings and a checking account. So grandma goes to the bank, she takes out the 30,000, the 300,000, whatever the dollar amount is. And then she used these money launderers. So like the cash pickup I was talking about.
They convince them to drive to the local branch and pull out cash.
Yes.
That's insane.
And it's honestly unbelievable when you when I tell these stories back, it doesn't seem real. And we have like a lot of people in our videos, like in the comments where they say, it's like kind of like shaming somebody, like, how could you fall victim to that? But they sound preposterous, but it happens every single day. And granny's going to the bank and they're telling her, hey, lie to the bank and tell the bank branch that you're buying a house or you're buying a car or you're putting your kid in college or something.
Right.
And they're taking out huge amounts of cash and they're either transferring it into Bitcoin, buying gift cards, giving cash to somebody else, or they're buying gold bars now. Yeah.
Dude, I told this story a couple days ago on the podcast, actually, because this happened to me a couple months ago. I was trying to, and I bank with like one of the top 3 banks in the US, and I was trying to transfer a significant amount of money from one of my checking accounts to Coinbase, and I went. First of all, I just tried to do the wire online. Didn't work. Went to the local branch, brought my ID, everything, sat down with the guy. I'm like, hey, I need to wire this amount of money from this checking account to this account on my Coinbase account. Like, oh, okay, cool. What's the doodle? Did the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, see you later. It should go through or whatever. I get a call 2 hours later from the bank. They're saying, hey, this is the fraud department. We want to confirm this, this, and this. How did you find out about Coinbase? How long have you known about crypto? What was the color of your first car? What's your sperm count? Like everything. And I answered all the questions. And then 2 hours later, declined. You can't do it.
Really?
Go back to the bank the next day. I'm like, dude, I need to wire this money. And they're like, okay, we'll try it again. I don't know what's going on. Long story short, I end up going to the actual branch like 6 times to try to wire that money. And every single time, I got kicked bad by the fraud department.
Yeah.
And they were asking me these obscure questions like, what year did you first learn about Coinbase? What type of crypto are you buying? Like all these weird questions. And I got the sense that like they just didn't want me to take money out of my account. They wanted money they didn't want me to take money out of my my checking account for their bank. And eventually, like a month later, I was finally able to get the wire to go through. But it was exhausting.
Yeah, it's so we listen in on phone calls of these scams that are happening. I could actually pull one up if you want later on. And a lot of times these banks will there's no excuse. They'll just let it happen. So
yeah,
I'm very surprised that they put you through so many, hoops, but usually it's like they just go in and get the cash out immediately. And I've seen wire transfers that are in 7 figures. I've seen they're having victims buy gold bars now, like gold bullion, and like ordering it. And these scammers are showing up at these victims' houses and collecting like however many ounces of gold bars.
These scammer companies that are based overseas, they will have proxies in the US and every state they can contact.
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's called Havala, which is like it's like an kind of an ancient money transfer, not ancient, but it's like a tried and true money transfer system. And Havala is a way in like kind of these Asian countries. It's all built off of trust, and they kind of keep a ledger. So you have like party A and party B. And obviously, if one is in the US and one is in India, they can't physically transfer the money necessarily. So they keep this ledger amongst each other. But now with like crypto and stuff, it's getting a lot easier for them to do it. But before with like cash or gift cards, it was like, hey, you have a victim in the US, you have a money launderer in like California. A lot of them are in California and New York. And then you have a scammer in India. So scammer in India is scamming 50,000 from this granny. So she sends a box of 50K to California. That guy takes 20% and then puts it in an account overseas, and it's all hidden from the government. So they don't pay taxes. They don't get in trouble. It's like I said, we uncovered it's still under investigation, so I can't say all the specifics, but it's 9-figure ring that does this. It's unbelievable. The network that is out in the States that does this, they're a well-oiled machine. And again, they have people driving, and these are foreign nationals that are driving all around the U.S. in rental cars, Airbnbs. They're flying people around to pick up cash, gold bars, gift cards, and send crypto back and forth. And it's all under the nose of the government. They use our U.S. banks against us. They use our shipping companies. I won't name any companies, but you name a company, they use them. And nobody knows, nobody can stop it. Well, we can stop it, but...